February 19th, 1945. The bloodiest battle in Marine Corps history is about to begin. 70,000 American Marines are about to land on an 8-square-mile volcanic rock in the Pacific. 21,000 Imperial Japanese soldiers are waiting in tunnels, bunkers, and prepared positions specifically designed to make them pay for every meter. Over the next 36 days, 6,800 Americans will die. The flag will rise on Mount Suribachi. The photograph will become one of the most famous images in American history, and the survivors will never forget what it cost. But let's change one thing. Standing on the deck of an LCVP, heading toward the black volcanic sand, dressed in nothing the Japanese have ever seen, is something that shouldn't exist for another 80 years. A reinforced modern Marine Corps rifle company. 180 Marines from 2026 with equipment, training, and doctrine refined through Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan, dropped into the most brutal battle their grandfathers ever fought. So, what if modern U.S. Marines fought at Iwo Jima? The modern Marines. A reinforced rifle company is not just a group of well-trained Americans. It's a precision combat system disguised as 180 human beings. Every Marine carries an M27 infantry automatic rifle, accurate to 550 meters with optics, weighing 8 pounds. Squad automatic weapons. Designated marksmen with M38 rifles capable of cold, deliberate kills at 800 meters. A T-4 anti-armor rockets that were designed to destroy tanks and will do unspeakable things to Japanese bunker complexes. 2 M224 mortars dropping 60mm explosive rounds on targets nearly 3,500 meters away with no line of sight required. But the equipment is only half of it. Every Marine wears modern body armor with SAPI plates that stops anything Japanese infantry can throw at them. Helmets with mounted night vision. Modern communications that work across the entire battlefield. Quadcopter drones that map enemy positions in real time. A combat medic with field treatments that would seem like resurrection to a 1945 corpsman. And behind all of that, the training. Modern Marines have studied Iwo Jima for 80 years. They know exactly what tactics the Japanese used. They know the tunnel network exists. They know where Mount Suribachi falls in the timeline. They are landing with the most expensive intelligence package any soldier has ever carried into battle. They know what's about to happen because their grandfathers wrote the book on it. The Imperial Japanese Garrison. Let's not underestimate what they're facing. The Japanese garrison at Iwo Jima numbers 21,000 soldiers. Imperial Japanese Army veterans, naval infantry, and engineering specialists. Many of them have fought through China, Manchuria, and the island campaigns. They are not surrendering. They are not retreating. They are not breaking. His doctrine is revolutionary. No beach defense. No bonsai charges into machine gun fire. Instead, 18 kilometers of tunnels carved into volcanic rock, connecting hundreds of mutually supporting bunkers, blockhouses, and concealed firing positions. His soldiers are ordered to kill 10 Americans before they die. They are not allowed to die honorably in suicide charges. They are required to die slowly, expensively, in positions that maximize American casualties. Lieutenant General Tadamichi Kuribayashi is not a typical Japanese commander. He traveled across the United States as a military attaché in the late 1920s. He understands American firepower, American industry, and American resolve better than almost any imperial officer alive. He has personally trained his junior officers in tunnel warfare, defensive positioning, and the discipline of fighting from underground while being slowly buried alive by American artillery. And he has spent 8 months preparing Iwo Jima specifically to bleed Americans. This is what the modern Marines are landing into. The most sophisticated defensive position the Japanese ever built, commanded by the only Japanese general who truly understood the war he was fighting. The landing, D-Day at Iwo Jima, begins at 9:02 a.m. The historical landing put Marines on the beach in waves of LCVPs, while naval gunfire pounded what the Americans thought were the major Japanese positions. The Japanese held fire for roughly an hour, letting the beach fill with Marines, equipment, and chaos. Then, they opened up from positions the pre-invasion bombardment never touched. The modern Marine Company lands in the third wave. They are not surprised by what happens next. They know the Japanese strategy. They have studied it. The moment the firing starts, their drones are already mapping every muzzle flash on the high ground. Within 30 minutes, the company commander has a complete tactical picture of every active Japanese position within 2 kilometers, coordinates, estimated personnel, weapon types, lines of approach. And here is the multiplier effect that changes everything. The modern Marines share their intelligence with the entire American command structure. Drone footage gets relayed to every battalion commander on the island. Real-time enemy positions feed into naval gunfire targeting. Modern communications let one company's intelligence become every Marine's awareness. The 180 modern Marines do not fight 21,000 Japanese alone. They multiply the effectiveness of all 70,000 Americans on the island. Naval gunfire that historically hit approximate locations now hits exact coordinates. Battalions that historically advanced into unknown positions now advance with complete maps of what's waiting for them. The Marines call in naval gunfire with precision the 1945 corpsmen couldn't dream of. Bunkers identified by drone footage receive 16-inch shells from offshore battleships within 90 seconds of being spotted. But here is where reality intrudes. Even with perfect target identification, many of Kuribayashi's reinforced bunkers survive direct hits. The most heavily fortified were buried under meters of concrete and volcanic rock, designed to survive exactly the kind of naval bombardment they receive. Modern intelligence locates the bunkers faster, but destroying the deepest ones still requires Marines to advance, close the distance, and clear them by hand. The tunnels remain. The defensive depth remains. The Japanese soldiers buried inside remain. Iwo Jima cannot be won from the air or the sea. It has to be cleared by infantry, position by position, the same way it was historically. The combat. Modern Marines are devastating at range. Designated marksmen kill Japanese officers at 600 meters before they can give orders. M27S with optics clear sniper positions on Mount Suribachi within hours instead of days. Drones identify tunnel entrances that historical Marines spent weeks discovering. Mortar fire is so precise that Japanese counterattacks die before they form up. Night is where the gap becomes generational. Kuribayashi's doctrine relied heavily on night infiltration, small teams crawling from tunnels to attack American positions, then disappearing before dawn. Modern night vision turns this into a slaughter. Japanese infiltrators dressed in darkness are visible to Marines as if they're walking through daylight. The night attacks that killed hundreds of Americans historically become almost suicidal against an enemy that can see them coming. But the tunnels are the killing ground. At close range, in volcanic rock corridors, lit only by burning equipment, the technology advantage compresses. A Japanese soldier with a bayonet at 3 meters is as dangerous in 2026 as he was in 1945. Body armor stops rifle rounds, but cannot stop a grenade in an enclosed tunnel. Night vision becomes a liability when muzzle flashes wash out the optics. Marines clearing tunnels still die. Fewer of them, but they die. The mortars run dry. A T-4s get expended. The ammunition the company landed with depletes faster than the Japanese resistance does. There is no resupply chain in 1945 that can feed modern weapons. Every magazine emptied is gone. Every round fired is irreplaceable. The Marines fight on Iwo Jima the way Marines have always fought on Iwo Jima. Close range, hand-to-hand when necessary, taking the island bunker by bunker. The technology reduces the cost. It does not eliminate the battle. The outcome. Iwo Jima still falls on March 26, 1945. The flag still rises on Mount Suribachi. The B-29 air bases still get built. The strategic outcome of the Pacific War remains unchanged. None of that depends on which Marines land first. What changes is the cost. Historical Iwo Jima killed 6,800 Americans and wounded 19,000 more. With modern intelligence multiplied across the entire invasion force, American casualties drop catastrophically. American KIA falls from 6,800 to approximately 1,000 to 1,500. Wounded drops from 19,000 to roughly 3,000 to 4,000. Thousands of young Americans who died historically would have come home. Japanese casualties remain near total. Kuribayashi's doctrine demands his soldiers fight to the end. They do. 19,000 of 21,000 Japanese defenders still die. The battle is not made gentler for them by modern technology. It is made faster. Mount Suribachi still gets photographed on February 23, 1945. The image still becomes American iconography, but the names on the memorial wall are dramatically fewer. The Gold Star families across America who lost sons, brothers, husbands, and fathers in volcanic sand. Many of them get to keep their men. Modern technology does not change the strategic necessity of war. Iwo Jima had to be taken. The B-29 bases had to be built. The Pacific had to be won. The question modern equipment answers is not whether the battle had to be fought. The question is whether 6,800 American Marines had to die fighting it. The answer, with 80 years of technological evolution, is no. Most of them would have come home. That is what 80 years of military progress actually looks like. Not victories that wouldn't otherwise happen. Lives that wouldn't otherwise be lost.